Hello and welcome to the short Vort on Parshas Emor. I feel that I have no choice but to talk about Sefiras Ha'Omer topics because firstly, the DAF YOMI in Yevomos on Samach Beis that talks about Rabbi Akiva's loss of his 12,000 pairs or 24,000 students during the period between Pesach and Shavuos, which we call the Sefiras Ha'Omer period. And in this week's parsha, in Perach Gimel Pasuk Tes Vav, it says, "Usfartem lachem imachos haShabbos." We're given the commandment to count the Sefiras Ha'Omer. Now, Rabbi Daniel Glatstein brought down a reason from the HaKesav V'Hakablah why we call the counting the Sefiras Ha'Omer. After all, why don't we call it the Sefiras Hayamim, the counting of the days? Why would we name it after an Omer, which is a Sefiras Ha'Ephah? It's a measurement, 1/10 of an Ephah, with the mitzvah of counting the 1/10 of the Ephah. Do we say we're counting the pints? Well, maybe if you're in a bar, we'll count the pints. But otherwise, why would we use a measurement to count? We should be calling it maybe the Yamems. So Rabbi Glatstein says that the answer given by the HaKesav V'Hakablah is that Omer has a different meaning besides the measurement. It also has a language of enslavement. In Parshas Ki Teitzei, Perach Avdal, Pasuk Zayin, it says, Ki Yamatzei Ish Gonev Nefesh Mechav B'Bnei Yisrael. If someone kidnaps somebody else, His Amer Bo Umachoro, and you'll enslave them and sell them. So His Amer Bo is enslaving. It's the language of Omer. And that's what it's telling us about. We're counting something related to enslavement. Why did we go down to Egypt? We went down to Egypt to be enslaved so that we can learn the lesson of servitude, so we can serve in turn HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We can be subservient to Him completely and fully. And when we count, so not only are we counting up to the Kabbalas Torah, which is our full new relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu and being enslaved to Him, we're also saying that we're counting every day to make each day count in recognizing the value of the days towards the service of Hashem. Now, in the Gemara in Yevomos, so it says, what is the reason why the 24,000 students died during this period? Because in some level, they didn't show proper respect from each other. However, the Midrash Rabbah Bereishis says, why did they die? They were stingy or they were begrudging to each other. So which one was it? Were they stingy and begrudging, or were they not showing proper respect? So Rabbi R Kahaneman, the Panavisha, the Rav, so he says it's not a contradiction here. He's talking about two different aspects. One is an internal sin and one is an external sin. And that external sin is actually a manifestation of the internal problem. The students, they were guilty of stinginess in regards to when they saw the other students that they were learning with that were growing in Torah, they somehow felt that on some level they were losing out on their service of Hashem. And actually they were saying they were jealous and they didn't want the person to serve Hashem, which of course is something that's improper. And because of the way they were thinking about that, they're being impinged upon on their success. So therefore, internally, they started holding back the levels of the respect, and they didn't show the due respect that they should have shown to each other. And why were they punished so much? So the Sifsei Chaim, who's the one who quotes R Kahaneman, so he says that their resentment of the success of each other's Torah study meant that on some level they were learning Torah. They didn't want someone to learn Torah, and they were learning Torah for their own ego, because otherwise why would they be bothered with someone else's success? So we have Pirkei Avos, Tamash B'Taga Chalav. Hill says that one who uses the crown of Torah, so they will fade away, or another language is called Anena Midivrei Torah, Notel Chayav Min Ha'olam. Whoever seeks personal benefit from the words of Torah will remove his life from this world. So the punishment is because of their improper serving and desiring for someone else not to serve Torah as much as they could. So our lesson here is we have to learn that we have to be enslaved, we have to be subservient to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's our goal. And during the Sefirah period, we are growing in that madrega. And as a byproduct of that, we should also make sure that we support other people who are growing in Torah and mitzvos, and not take some type of resentment. And with showing cover to each other, this should be something that should bring us to the Gula Shlema, B'vias HaMashiach, B'meher B'yameinu. Thank you for listening. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a wonderful week and a wonderful Shabbos.